So good afternoon, guys, and we're delighted to welcome so many familiar faces back to our roadshow. This is our second time that we've run this event, and it proved really fruitful last year, allowing people to ask individual program managers very specific questions. As Vicky mentioned, my name is Amy Jane, and myself and the team here present, who I'll introduce in a few minutes, we work in the Food Industry Training Unit. And for those that don't know, we're located in the School of Food and Nutritional Sciences, and that's here in University College Cork. You can see it in my lovely background here on a nice summer day. So as a unit, we're dedicated to the delivery of part-time continued professional development for those working in the food, agri-food and seafood sectors. And I know just from the names that we've chatted with a number of different people here before, so we're absolutely delighted that you were able to join us this afternoon. So I'm just going to move my screen over here now. So this is the bio images of our team, but the more real life images is in front of you here on the Zoom call. So I'll just go according to the screen that I have in front of me. So we have Maura Conway, who is the program manager for the diploma in food science and technology. We have Dr. Angela Sheehan, who is the program manager for the diploma in specialty food production. We have Aoife and Joe, who both look after the diploma in food manufacturing management. That image of myself with slightly different hair, I look after the postgraduate certificate in dairy technology and innovation. We have Catherine, who is our financial administrator and also on the call this afternoon. Deirdre couldn't be with us at the moment, but she looks after the diploma in leadership. Vicky, who gave the introduction, she looks after the online side of things, and she also looks after our short courses. And then we have Bernie, who is our administrator here and looks after our admin for all of the different courses. So that's our full team. And I suppose what's important is that as a team, every course that we run has a dedicated and specific program manager. And I guess the joy of being on this call today is that any of the questions that you could think of, we can answer them all for you. Now, as I mentioned, we're part of the School of Food and Nutritional Sciences, and we've been in operation now for almost 30 years. We work very closely with our colleagues in industry, and we provide part-time training that changes year on year. We're market-led in that whatever industry comes back to us with through our evaluations and through our different courses, we try to meet that demand. As a unit, we're quite unique in Ireland. We're market-led, but we're also the only dedicated training unit in Ireland to focus specifically on food, agri-food and seafood. And we're uniquely positioned here at University College Cork because we have our experts that are working in the area of food, and then we're able to relay that information to industry. And that really benefits us in terms of our training and learning because everything is quite innovative and quite market-led and focused. Now, for us in the Food Industry Training Unit, partnerships and collaboration, they really are at the heart of what we do. 90% of our business is repeat, and this is probably due to the relationships that we form with different companies and individuals. And it's a true testament because when myself and Vicky were going through the list, we recognized a lot of the people from being on our short courses or from reaching out to us before. Also, in terms of collaboration and partnerships, we work with a lot of industry, government and state agencies. For example, the Department of Agriculture, Food and the Marine, SkillNets, the Irish Cooperative Society, Teagasc, Enterprise Ireland, just to name a few. And it's very important for us to work with these different bodies because that allows us to secure funding for different people coming on our courses, which we'll mention in a little while. So as a unit, we have 6 core values that are really at the center of how we work here in the unit. So excellence in relation to the quality of the courses that we develop, but also in relation to the caliber of the teaching and the learning that occurs on our courses. So all of the lecturers on our courses, of course, they're experts in their chosen field, and they range from UCC staff, part-time lecturers associated with the unit, and also consultants from industry. They're also extremely passionate about what they do, not just experts, but really are living and breathing the topics that they're teaching. And that makes for a very interactive and very worthwhile training course, whether that's a short course or whether it's a longer course. Now, I mentioned already that we are market-led and we do strive to meet the changing needs of industry and to support industry in innovating and meeting different demands of the sector. And I suppose as a unit, we're also trying to innovate. A recent example of this is our Foodline UCC initiative. In response to COVID, we went online, and now we're able to offer different courses in a blended and online way to make sure that we're able to continue the provision of our online training and learning. Our courses are also open to all who work within the food, agri-food and seafood sectors. And we also strive to provide training in as flexible and supportive a way as possible. Most of the people that come in our courses, we completely acknowledge, are working full-time, have family lives and busy lives. And the role of FITU is to support people in their personal, flexible pathway of progression. So inclusiveness is an extremely important value to us. Now, the management team and lecturers, as I mentioned, are extremely passionate about their subject area. And it's, I suppose, a combination of this passion and excellence that's at the heart of the collaboration and the successful partnerships that we engage in. And I suppose taking all that into consideration, this is what we find empowers the students that come on our course. And I suppose when we go through the different courses in a little while, we encourage you guys to ask as many questions as possible, to take as much information as possible so that you can be empowered and go back and think about the different courses that might be an option for you going forward. So as a unit, we run both longer courses, which kind of go over a year or 2 years, and we run a mixture of short courses. So the longer courses are under the label of accredited courses up here, and the different program managers are listed next to each one, and we'll talk about each one of those individually. We have short courses, and I'll show a list for those in a few minutes. And we know that from sending out this email about our roadshow today that a number of people have inquired about the short courses. So we're absolutely happy to answer any questions on the short courses as well. We also do a lot of bespoke or customized training courses, and that's really when a company comes to us and has a very specific need. Maybe we don't have a short course to facilitate it at the moment, but FITU is happy to develop courses that are specifically of need to different industry groups. Foodline UCC is our online initiative. Vicky is the training and learning manager for that, and she looks after all of the online courses that we develop. And we do have a good mixture now of courses that are 100% online or 50% online and 50% face-to-face. So we'll chat a little bit about those as well. And I mentioned collaboration and partnership, and our relationship with Bordis Guevara is one of those collaborative partnerships that we engage in year on year. And through Maura Conway, we run a UCC graduate program with them. So on our left here, we have a list of the short courses that are scheduled for this upcoming year. I know a number of people have already registered for those. That's absolutely fantastic. I suppose what a lot of people might not know is that a number of these courses have a digital badge associated with them. So a digital badge is also referred to as a micro-credential. It's an acknowledgement from UCC that you have completed a course. And I've just have a little video here that shows what a digital badge looks like and where you can find it. Typically, people are using these digital badges to show on LinkedIn that they've completed a course and they've attained a certain number of skills. And I'm just going to play the video so you can see. This is Velo Coffee. It's a local Cork coffee company. And Rob, the owner, did a digital badge course, a short course for 2 days on specialty artisan food marketing. And he was eager for people in his circle to see that he had done the badge. And so he shared it on his LinkedIn. And this is something that we're putting with some of our short courses so that people can show their employers, show their workplace the different skills that they're learning from short courses rather than just a certificate of participation. So I guess in summary, this is the unique selling point of the food industry training unit. And I suppose what's most important to us and to the students that come on the course is the focus of being student-centered. So our courses are all part-time, and that's to really take into account that all of our students are working. And most important for us is that the relationship between the program manager and the students. We have small classes to allow attention to be given within each of the courses and to really support and facilitate that very highly supportive and transition into the university. We also have our online courses and different services that are available to support students as they come in and do their different courses. We had a question come in about the different levels associated with our longer courses. So digital badges are associated with the 2-day, 3-day, 4-day courses, but our year-long and 2-year courses, they're situated at level 7 for our diplomas and at level 9 for our postgraduate certificates. So just so you can have an idea as to what level the longer programs are at. So what I'm going to do now is hand over to my colleague Maura, and each of the different program managers will give a short introduction to their individual courses. And at the end of the introduction to the different courses, we'll break out into our different rooms and we can have a chat then more specifically about the different areas. So Maura, I'll hand over to you if that's okay. Maura, you're on mute.
Oh dear, me and my technology. You think I'd be better at it at this stage after 2 years? Anyway, I'm Maura Conway. I'll start again, and I look after the diploma in food science and technology. And it's appropriate that we start with this diploma because this is the first diploma actually offered by Food Industry Training Unit way back in 1993. So this is, and we just continue to have demand for the program, so it continues to run. And I've been associated with it actually since 1993. So this is a 2-year part-time course, and as the name implies, it gives people a good, solid foundation in food science and technology. It's run over Friday afternoons, Saturday sessions, so it's sort of run on a Friday from 2 until 6 and all day Saturday, and that's 11 times in the year. So we have 4 sessions, October to December, 4 sessions before Christmas, and then the last 7 are from January till the middle of May. And we run this course now, originally of course was all face-to-face in UCC, but as times have developed with online learning and COVID, etc., it's now offered in a blended delivery format. So 8 sessions of these 11 will be online and 3 on campus in UCC. So the first session, which starts the first session is the 7th, 8th of October. So that as an introductory session would be held in UCC. And then another session will be held in UCC in February and a third on-campus session in March. So the modules, year 1, I suppose, is designed to give people a good, solid foundation in the basics of things like food chemistry, where you have an introduction to chemistry generally, and then an introduction to the chemistry of proteins, fats, carbohydrates, and micronutrients, an introduction to nutrition, food microbiology, which gives a good foundation in the basics of food microbiology, like factors affecting the growth of microorganisms that affect shelf life, and food engineering is really to do with heat transfer and refrigeration, that area. Food technology looks after introduces the basic principles of food processing, things like mixing and heating and chilling, and topics such as labeling and traceability. And then there's a work-related assignment it gives people the opportunity to apply the understanding they've got to an area of interest to them in their work. And sometimes we have people doing the diploma in food science and technology who aren't in the food industry, but who are interested in gaining access to work in the food industry. And in those cases, we help people decide on a topic that may be of interest to them. We've had people who've done, we'll say, assignments on something like celiac disease, or palm oil was one of the ones this year, or seaweed, the use of seaweed in foods. So just topics that are of interest to you if you're not actually working in the food industry at the moment. And then in year 2, develops on from year 1. So it's the chemistry of various foods, such as meat products, dairy, fruit and veg, cereals. Food microbiology deals with the microbiology of specific food areas, and also food pathogens or foodborne illnesses. Food business is an introduction to innovation and to food marketing. And then quality systems talks about relevant legislation, quality audits, food safety issues. Food process technology in year 2, there's a bit about the environmental issues and also the technology of various food systems, and then another assignment in year 2.
Sorry, Maura.
And then, we get feedback from participants over the years, and we say, what did you gain from the diploma in food science and technology? Well, happily, they all say they gained a good, solid foundation and understanding of food science and technology, which is what we set out to do. But interestingly, people say that they gain confidence in themselves at work in dealing with maybe suppliers or customers or colleagues, that they have a better understanding of the area, and so that gives them more confidence. They also report an improved performance in their day-to-day job because of their better understanding. They're more likely to become part of working groups or to volunteer for projects. People mention a sense of achievement and empowerment, and happily, we get a lot of people reporting that they progress in their careers. Either they gain promotion or they, change to a different role, and but that it does enable people to develop their careers and to progress. So I think that's me, Amy Jane. Really, that's all I'd like to say.
Perfect.
A quick summary.
Thanks a mil, Maura. So I'm going to hand over to Angela now for the diploma in specialty food production.
Thanks, Amy Jane. Can you hear me?
We can.
Yep. So the diploma in specialty food production, similar to Maura's diploma there, is a level 7. It's part-time, but this one is delivered over 1 year. So everything gets done over 14 sessions. We call it the UCC Department of Agriculture, Food and Marine Diploma Programme because we get significant funding and support from the Department of Agriculture, Food and Marine, up to 64% of the fee for eligible applicants. So that makes a difference to a lot of people. If you're starting up your own food business, it helps, So this diploma it provides education across all areas relevant to the small scale artisan or specialty food producer, or indeed those that wish to get into that sector. And because of that, then we cover a broader area, a broader range of topics, if you like. So we have the food science and technology, nutrition, food safety, microbiology, but we also have modules on area food culture, business, marketing, digital marketing. And in the last few years, we've introduced a new one called food production and the environment. So the delivery in the past year was, sorry, I'm not finished the last slide.
Sorry, Angela.
Yeah, so this past year, well, because of COVID, we went completely online, and that was a bit of a culture shock, but we survived and we did very well, actually, considering. So we did that 100% online, but we decided this past year, we've just finished actually this current academic year, and we delivered using a blend of online and in-person sessions. Now, this program is delivered on Tuesdays and Wednesdays from 9 to 5, and not every week, but every, say, 3 weeks or so, typically. But the idea there is that it's almost like attending the lectures, but you're doing so from home for 10 out of 14 sessions. Now we had 4 sessions on campus. So the idea is that people can attend, they take the 2 days off, and they attend live lectures, and they're all recorded. And the lectures deliver in person online. So that's how we deliver this program. It's worked out very, very well this year. The feedback has been exceptionally positive. The modules, as I said, there's a range there from the food science technology type through to the management, business, marketing, and so on. And we, as I said, we have the new one there, the food production and the environment. Okay, Amy Jane.
Perfect.
So just in terms of what I suppose you could say the highlights or the benefits of participation on this particular diploma. Obviously, you're interacting, engaging with like-minded people, the people on the course. We tend to limit this to 20 people, so it's a nice size of a group. And the students themselves, they do engage with each other, also the lecturers, the trainers, and then you also get access to to the support and the resources that are out there. So we do a little bit on the terms of marketing plans, business plans. So you're identifying the key elements of those, gaining confidence, like Maura said. You've increased credibility if you're going with your diploma in specialty food production to the support agencies, say you're looking for funding or other types of supports. You will also find that you will have insight into digital marketing. Some people are better than others at that. And the use of social media, there's an emphasis on that as well, because that's so important now to the small food producer. We also have a sensory evaluation workshop, and there's focus there on how important sensory is to new product development and that. Then there is a workshop, these are just some examples, but there is a workshop on accountancy and fundamentals of financial record keeping, which would be really important to your startup food producer or fledgling food producer. And of course, you get your level 7 university diploma, and there is HACCP training course as well, which is certified, which is fantastic for a startup food producer as well. And I thought I'd include a few testimonials from some of our graduates. So I am far better equipped to start a food business after completing this course, learn more about food waste, supporting local and nutrition. And it was fantastic to meet people from so many different backgrounds and industries. And that would be a theme, you know, where people come from all sorts of backgrounds, all sorts of experiences and qualifications and so on. But they're all kind of, I suppose they all have the same interest and passion for food and specialty food and maybe small, you know, local food and so on. So I guess that's pretty well. I'm happy to talk to anybody afterwards if anybody has any particular questions, but I think that's it really in a nutshell, an overview.
Thanks, Angela. So just before I hand over to Aoife and Joe, just a reminder that the chat is open if anybody wants to pop in their questions while the lads are talking. Thanks, Aoife. Thanks, Joe.
Okay, thank you, Imogen. So both Aoife and I look after this diploma in food manufacturing management. So that course runs from May until April of a year. So we're after starting this year's class, and we've a great bunch working through it. So in terms of qualification, as Imogen has mentioned already, this is a level 7 qualification. This is designed for people who want to get an accredited management qualification. Many of the senior people in the country that are working and managing and leading food manufacturing companies around the country, many of those would have come through this course back over the years. This has been running for many years as well, and it has a proud heritage going back over many years that has led to those lead people getting to where they are on the back of it. So it is ideal for people that believe that they have potential to climb the management ladder in their company in the food manufacturing or drink processing areas. And this is very targeted at those people to give them the business background, the management and leadership skills. So it is part-time over 1 year. It's divided up into 10 workshops of 2 days each. So you're out of your company for 20 days in total across the year. They are mostly residential in hotels around the country, but we have this year we're using 2 blended workshops where they'll be done remotely because they work better than being face-to-face, which we learned over COVID. And I would suggest anyone with any interest in this come and talk to us in the breakout group at the end of it.
Brilliant. Thanks, Joe. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the postgraduate certificate in dairy technology and innovation. So this is our only level 9 qualification. And what that means is that the entry level is normally people that have already completed a degree. So that would be level 8 or something equivalent. We do have a direct pathway in from more as level 7 diploma in food science and technology, because some of the modules form as a precursor to the modules that you would do in this qualification. So this program runs over a year, but we actually, because of the seasonal production and peak production being in the summer period, we actually run the course in a more focused time frame from October to March. And that means that people coming on this course are free for the peak season inside and work. And then in the quiet season, we're able to focus on delivery of the program. So who is this course for? This is a real specific focus on those that want to upskill in dairy specific training. So people that are working in the cooperatives, people that want to stay within the dairy sector, that have maybe done a food science degree, a nutrition degree, engineering in the past. This allows these people to focus more specifically in staying within that dairy company and progressing up through the technical ladder within their company. We have 6 modules, 3 which are run from October to Christmas and 3 which are run after Christmas. We have 2 modules that are online and we have 2 modules that are blended, so 50% online and 50% face-to-face. And then we have 2 modules that are completely online. And to make that work and to make sure we still have the interaction between people, We meet everybody for a full week in October, face-to-face here in UCC and also down in Teagasc. And then we meet everybody again in February so that we have that face-to-face residential feel again where people can ask questions. And then throughout the year, we're supporting people in terms of new product development, ingredient formulation, and I suppose really focusing on the technical side of things online through live tutorials, through live classes, through discussion boards. So there's constant support there all of the time. So the picture in the background is one of our on-site visits with the class last year down in Teagasc, where we were looking at the sustainability of on-farm practices in relation to grass and nitrogen usage. And I suppose what's important here is that this course, although set at level 9, which is just before masters, we focus the group into small study groups. So even though we're at a technical level, we're working in small study groups together, working on projects, working on assignments that are really relevant to people's places of work. So people are coming with problems and they're going and they're working in their study groups and they're solving these problems within the study groups. So it's quite an applied course. It's quite an applied program that is directly benefiting people in their place of work and people's employers. Another important thing that a lot of our students on this course say is a benefit is that all of the assessment, and indeed it's the case for most of all of the FITU courses actually, is continuous assessment right throughout the year. So there's no end of year exams all at once. You're doing your assessments, whether that's an assignment or an MCQ or a piece of reflective work is being submitted throughout the year. So you can take your time and you're really getting the value of the learning by using the continuous assessment model. So just from a practical point of view, on the left is the deadline for applications for the postgraduate certificate. It's a little bit earlier than the other FITU courses just because of the level 9, because it's at level 9. There is funding available, and again, that's the case for all of the FITU courses. The funding amount varies, but there is funding, partial funding available for all the courses. In this case, it's from Taste for Success SkillNet. And also, very exciting news for the postgraduate certificate is that hopefully in September, this qualification will be extended and will go to a postgraduate diploma and a master's. So we'll have a direct progression and pathway all the way up to master's for those students that want to really focus and specialize in dairy technology and innovation. And that master's program will be work-based. So a person will be in their place of work for 100% of the time and will be focusing on a problem that their workplace has and trying to address it and write that up as a thesis for their master's program. And on the right, we just have some feedback and some testimonials from different students that have been on the course over the past year. So that brings us to the end of our accredited programs, so the longer programs. So what I'm going to do now is ask Vicky to open the breakout rooms. And if there's any person that has specific questions, please feel free to pop into the waiting rooms, or if you just want to come in and chat or listen to what's going on or discuss closing dates and deadlines, please feel free to do that as well.